All right, I'm here at Sarver Hollow shelter. We're near Sinking Creek Valley. That's where we started hiking. We came to hike here. It's about 3 miles in, and came to hike here and just make a little food, and then we're getting ready to hike back out. I didn't film much on the way in. I took more pictures on the way in, but I'll take some video on the way out. Got the map here. So this is Route 42, 460's down here. Blacksburg would be further down this way. So we started right here. This little parking area is just off of 630, and then we hiked up. Not quite sure what the name of this mountain is. Oh, Sinking Creek Mountain. I think that's what they called it. Hiked up here. Now we got to come up here. And we took this little half-mile side trail to Sarver Hollow shelter. This is actually a really nice shelter. It's about a half-mile off the trail. It's got a water source, a very weak water source. It's just like a little underground creek that's just barely trickling. But there's an old homestead here, the Sarvers, and I think it was the Caldwells. Used to live back up in this area, and there are old remnants of the house that's still there. But they put this shelter in 2001, I think. There's sometime right about then. It's quite a large shelter. Got this big covered area, is really nice. That's pretty uncommon. It's got a nice little cooking area. There's some camping areas further down, straggling along the way to the water source. And then there's a really nice privy back there as well. That's well maintained. A lot of trees down here. When I walked to the water source just to see what it was like, it was climbing over a lot of trees. But all in all, pretty nice day. It's probably in the 50s, I'd say. It's a little chilly in the shade, but in the sun it's not too bad. Very peaceful back here. Alright, all along this trail, we keep finding these rock structures like this. And I can't figure out what they're for. What? It's you look at them, and they all look like they were chimneys. I mean, maybe they're chimneys that fell apart, but there's certainly no hole in the middle. This one almost looks like it's got, some structure right there where you could have had a fire. But these are all very clearly stacked rocks. Rocks don't do that in nature. So somebody intentionally took those and stacked them. Now, the other thing we see a lot of, see? There's another one. We see a lot of things like this and like this. These look like stone piles of just discarded stone. Then you run up on ones like that. And Kind of looks stacked. There's another one. And another one. I feel like DJ Khaled. And another one. But I can't figure out what use they had. Something I don't know clearly. I've seen a lot of times where they'll stack up rocks and make fences. You know, they said they grew, chestnut trees grew up here, and the folks would live off the chestnuts and raise hog off the chestnuts and that type of thing. That's all common. But we keep seeing these structures, and I don't think they're new. Pretty sure these have been around for a while. Now there's one up ahead that does look pretty new. They're kind of egg-shaped. But yeah, I haven't been able to quite figure out what they're for. I'll have to take a look and see if I can figure it out. I don't know what you would mound up. I mean, you could maybe grow some viney things. You could maybe build a mound and grow some stuff like that in them, but I don't know. Out west, you see a lot of these things are used to mark trails, but I don't think that's what these are doing. There's so many of them, and well, these all, here's 4, kind of look like they're in a line. Hard to say. Initially I thought it might be property boundaries. Maybe it is. But whatever it was, sure did make a lot of them. We might be right on the edge of a county line, possibly. I don't know. Hey, look, here's more. Yeah, I'm just puzzled. So, yet amongst all these rock piles, then there's this one. Now this one, I don't think this one's that old. Not a lot of moss on it. Rocks are all a different color from everything else. I think some hikers or the Appalachian Club or something like that made that one. Now, even still, I don't know what it is. It's just a big pile of rock. All right, we're almost done. Almost back to the car. We're walking through a cow field at the moment, but we're coming up on, you can just kind of make it out there. That's the top of Keffer Oak. It's called Keffer Oak after a former landowner who owned this property. They say the tree is about, well, they think it's about 300 years old. 300 years is pretty impressive, especially in this area, because the Appalachians have been timbered several times in that time span. And somehow, this particular tree missed out. I reckon it missed out on the first couple. And then at some point somebody was like, well, no, let's keep that tree there. We were walking through here earlier and there were some cows. I don't see any now. Yeah, let's go up through the gate rather than through the...
Yeah, I think that one had more.
Yeah, that one was kind of... Well, oh, it's right there, yeah. I don't know why this is open like this. I'm guessing... Oh, there's... Yeah, well, there's a gate right there. Nope, no cows. Yeah, you can... It's hard to get a feel for the size of the tree. And I'm sure this camera doesn't help with the fisheye lens. Makes everything look a little different. Man, that's a tree. It's funny, I think each one of the limbs on the tree is probably about as big as a tree itself. So we're coming up on it here. Whew. Tell you what, Devin. Here, you walk ahead. I mean, it's fairly tall. I wouldn't say it's overly tall. It's about the height of a tree around here. But, man, it's big. How big do you think that is? 10 feet in diameter?
Sure.
I'm thinking if you were to lay it down, I think, yeah.
It would take, well, I don't know, it would take more than just 4 of me.
Yeah. But like these limbs are so massive and they grow so far out. Like, I don't know how. I mean, obviously this one fell. This fell. I was here about a year ago and this has fallen since then. These limbs are so massive. I don't know. I don't know what's holding them up. It's almost like, what do they call those live oaks that they have down in the deep south? They grow out and they grow down and whatnot. Kind of reminds me of that. We don't have a lot of that up here. Anyway. Keffer Oak. Alright, this area we're coming up on here, this is probably my favorite little section of this hike. This part that we're walking through here, there's an old cabin that I'm about to come up to. That cabin, it's falling apart and whatnot. But the thing that's so interesting to me is that this area, there's not a lot of briars and brambles and underbrush that you see a lot of times along the trail. There's like a ton of maple trees. There's a handful of pine trees, not a lot. Ow. But there's a lot of maple trees, some looks like ash trees. But it makes for this really weird undergrowth where it's all very kind of open. Yeah, it's just different. Haven't seen anything like it. I wonder, so here's a cabin or whatever that was. I wonder if this land had been what you call cultivated or, you know, used for agricultural purposes, and was all cleared many years ago. And then maybe eventually over time, whoever owned the land no longer used it for that purpose, and it just kind of grew back up as this. That's my guess as to what happened and why, you know, why it's just different. It's hard to describe. If you have been or spent a lot of times in the woods, and you come to this area, you would just kind of notice, hey, this is a little different. It's like weirdly open and clear. So. All right, well, we're back at the parking area. It's a nice little area. We were the 5th car today, so you could probably have fit about 7 cars here. I don't know if that house is abandoned. Kind of looks like it, but clearly there probably was a house here. There's an old some sort of footer here and chimney there, and there's a few houses over there. But it was a good hike. We let's see, we went up in a little over 2 hours, I think, and we got back in, looks like about an hour and 45 minutes. So we made hour 35. Made good time. So, all right, well, this I think this might be one of my favorite hikes. I really liked the area that we hiked through. Hiking up the mountain there was just beautiful. It's very peaceful back here. We saw 6 people, 3 pairs of 2. So yeah, it was a nice hike. Thanks for watching.